Good afternoon. This is the Public Circle Live. My name is Adam Olsen. I'm the MLA for Saanich North and the Islands. The Public Circle Live is our weekly broadcast talking and reviewing the week in BC politics. And the Public Circle is the public engagement arm of the work we do in our constituency office in Saanich North and the Islands. Welcome to this edition. This is episode number 7. It's March the 30th already. That's pretty crazy. It's a beautiful day outside. Happy Easter, everybody. Thank you for joining us on this holiday weekend. Today, I am so proud and so happy to have with me Emily Olsen. We're going to be having a conversation about mental health, some work that she's been doing around mental health, and as well, what's family like in BC politics. We're going to get to Emily in just a second. First, I would just like to say that if you're watching us live now, or if you're watching a rebroadcast later, you can engage with this video by hitting the like button. I see a few are already hitting that like button. Or if you really like what you see, you can hit the love button, that little heart button in there, the love button. Give us a wow face or two, and because this is BC politics, you may even decide that you need to use the sad face or that frustrated, angry face, like this. Anyway,
hi, Francesca.
You might want to use that. Anyway, you can get a hold of us all the usual ways. Oh, hold on, I haven't used these beautiful little signs yet. This is, the Public Circle Live. You can get a hold of us on our website, adamolsen.ca. You can email us at adam.olsen.mla@ledge.bc.ca. You can give us a call, traditional way, 250-655-5600. Now we've done that, I'll just say leave a comment below, ask us a question. We may have enough time to get to them later. Let's flip it over here and have a conversation for about the next, few minutes, 15 minutes or so, with Emily. Now, Emily Olsen, you're an Olsen. Welcome.
Thank you.
Emily said to me a few days ago, she said, why don't I come on the Public Circle Live with you and we can have a conversation about some of the work that I've been doing. So tell everybody a little bit about who you are and how you're connected with me.
Okay. Hi, everybody. This is a fantastic opportunity. Obviously, Adam is my husband of 11 years and good friend and all of that for 15, just about. I'm very passionate and supportive about all the work that he's been doing, and just wanted to discuss a couple things that I was hoping to shed some light on as well that Adam's highlighted at the legislature. So
where do you come from? What's your journey to here in Sartlip First Nation? As you can see, we're in our kitchen. This is our beautiful kitchen behind us. So what's your journey to here, to this place?
Okay, well,
Coles Notes version.
Coles Notes, born in New Zealand, moved to Canada in the 90s, and then ended up with you. And so we live here, and we're so blessed. My work over the past, year has been about mental health issues. And as you know, and as many people are aware, I have suffered with all kinds of levels of mental unwellness since I was about 15 years old. And it's been a very interesting journey, and one that I'm proud to say I continue with. And I think the journey changes a lot as I grow. I'm going on 40, and this June. I've gained a lot of wisdom, and there's some really incredible people, support groups, ways of living that I've sort of adopted that have gotten me to a point of actually starting to feel like it might be a bit of a success story for me. And in turn, what that's done is, I think with most people, when you get to a place like that in your life, you think, okay, how can I give back? How can I help people who have been struggling, who are struggling, or confused, or don't know who to go to with some of these issues? And Go ahead.
I'll jump in. Normally it's me just talking, but It's Emily. I have it was a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month or so ago. I was preparing to do a statement on a youth health clinic in Sidney. Just opened on March 15th, reopened, and I was talking about the mental health support that they're providing youth on the Saanich Peninsula. And I read through the draft to Emily the night before I was going to prepare it, and she said, "Well, why don't you talk about the mental health work, the work around mental health that I've been doing?" And it was the first time, well, maybe it was the second time actually, she invited me to speak about mental health when I speak about it from a political perspective, to speak about her in that. And to me, it's been something that we've dealt with, we worked through for a number of years. And it was at that point that I realized you had worked your way to a certain point in your healing and in your journey of mental health challenges, to the point where it was okay for me to speak about it, not to politicize it in terms of politicizing it, but to say, hey, look, we all have these challenges and they're in a range. So talk about that journey, because it's been about 25 years. And how did it start for you? Do you go back to there?
Oh, that's a tough one. And it evolves, and sometimes I have different perspectives on it. It really happened, I think, because of feeling really isolated. I lived in a remote community, and I'm one of 6 kids, and 2 of my sisters moved away, and I've kind of pinpointed that moment as a real sort of deep loss. And when they left, I had things started shifting, and then obviously at a point of hitting, puberty, there's so many things going on emotionally, and I think there's a lot of youth that could probably relate to me with that.
This was when you were around 15 or so?
Yeah, 14, 15. And then it seemed just to sort of get worse and worse. And anytime, I've had some traumas in my life. Anytime trauma was a factor, it would accelerate it. Things like changes, moving, family situations being difficult. I can see Ella running over here.
The door's locked, so it's going to be a problem.
Breakups, normal things in life that I think the majority of people can possibly cope with or deal with. This might be the public circle live where Adam has to get up.
The public circle. I'll be right back.
Okay. She's at this door now. So, and then it developed and progressed into adulthood. And I'm going to fast forward to now, because I think what I've noticed is the more I start to share my story, the less shame I have about it, because there is no shame in it. The more you realize that there's other people yearning to find a place, to reach out, to talk about it. And about 6 months ago, I realized I know what I'm going to do to give back, and I'm working on a sort of collaboration of a creative and a storytelling performance style evening, actually 2 of them, October 6th and 7th at the Charlie Wright Theatre. Yeah, Mary Winspear Center. And I'm working on stories with other people that have reached out to me about their mental illness story. And what I'm hoping comes out of that is the ability for people in the audience or that hear about it or are able to come to the event to feel like there's a normalizing of it, and perhaps people that don't have a place to talk to someone or aren't able to understand a family member or a friend that is suffering, to have a place to go, oh, okay, I know what that means, or I've seen that before. Maybe it's a place that there can be some more understanding and compassion. And for some difficult things to talk about, like feelings of suicide or dealing with someone who has committed suicide, what the fallout is like. Those really neurotic, awful things that people are ashamed to talk about, like, anything from cutting to wanting to die to isolating to lashing out to just all that nasty, yucky stuff that is actually just thoughts and feelings and no place to put them or to go. And the other side of it, the sort of inspirational side, is I really am hoping that I can share the people and places where I have found compassion. Because I'll be honest, there are times when Adam can be on one chair and I'll be on another, and I will be in a really awful state, and I actually cannot reach across and say, I need help, or I'm in a tough spot right now. And sometimes a stranger or a different group, whether it's, for me, my poetry, or places like the Haven, or learning about meditation, have allowed me a place to put those thoughts and feelings. And I find the more I share that, the more excited I am that there is hope.
One of the things that I've recognized is the complete and total dedication to it. The dedication to finding solutions. And I recognize that we're in a pretty good space here. We've got a beautiful home, as you can see. We've got a very solid family space here, which, a lot of people in our society don't have. We talk about it a lot in BC politics, and we see, there's a ministry of mental health and addictions now. We see a need to, because our society is in pain right now in many instances. And I know that we have got some benefits that other people don't have, and they don't have that space necessarily to be able to just be dedicated to it. And so these conversations, opening up and sharing your story, when you have the ability to do that, will help people. I was hearing about stories. It was unbelievable. I was hearing about stories about mental health on the doorstep. People talking to me about their mental health challenges when I was knocking on doors in politics. That's how close to the surface it is for a lot of people. And so sharing, we've seen over the last couple years, these stories about mental health come out, and people with the courage and the dedication to work themselves to a point where they can talk about it. And it's since that we've been talking about it that I think we've been able to reach out and help people that may not be in that position yet.
And the other thing that I've learned in the past few years too is that while there is a struggle, and while there is the neuroses and the repetitive thoughts and really isolating feelings, I am also simultaneously able to hold a place in society and to be a leader. I worked for Canada Post for 10 years, with hundreds of employees, and I was able to work at a really high level, come home. I appeared to be happy. I appeared to be this and that. But in the quiet times, in the isolated, sort of lonely times, especially in the winter, that stuff would always return and creep back and all of that. So it's also looking at people as having an understanding without feeling sorry for them, because I don't feel sorry for myself. I view this thing finally after so many years as such a gift, and I'm so blessed with a crazy mind, and I've just had so many support systems, and even sometimes Adam was not enough, and when we realized that together, that was a really healthy thing. Sometimes the fact that you're a parent and you should not be feeling these things is not enough, and so it's integrating the things that work for you, because some things won't work for other people. And one of the other things that I found really helpful this last year was in working through all this and in learning some new tools and devices to have sort of a healthier life, and is to stop aiming for happiness, though it's something external outside of yourself. It was just to go day to day and see things for what they were. But I realized that some of the traumas were contributing to the neuroses and to those thoughts of I'm not good enough, all of that. And I've done some really hard work, and I'm very proud of myself for that. And I've had a ton of support with my friends and family, from Adam, people helping with the kids, so that I've been able to do that work.
Sorry.
Yeah.
We gotta get moving.
I'll keep talking.
This is the start. And we really appreciate you for joining us. This is the beginning of a conversation that Emily's going to have. Maybe she'll start her own Facebook Live show. It's very easy. I've got the rig right here. She can use it to continue to talk about it. This is the beginning of it. And if you have your story and you'd like to share it, you can share it with Emily. Emily Jeanette Olsen at gmail.com is how you can get a hold of her. I didn't ask her if I could share her email on the Facebook world, but I just did. So you can send her an email. I just saw a thumbs up, a like. If you like this, please hit that like button. Also, give Emily some love for sharing her story. It's not the last time. It is maybe the first time that we're having this conversation live. I hate to say this. I'm incredibly proud of the work that you've done, and you don't need me to be proud, but you need to know that. Okay, I love you very much.
I love you too.
Okay, so we've just got a couple of minutes left, like a very, very short, brief period of time, and I just want to hear what you think about life, family life in BC politics. Since I plugged this earlier, I just want to hear, is it what you expected it to be? Is it worse than you expected it to be? Any thoughts about what it's like? We've got these little kids, they're banging on the doors. You saw me, I ran out earlier. What do you think?
I love seeing you do what I know you were intended to do in this life. So that makes everything easy. There's not much more that needs to be said about that. But the community of our family, Adam's mom, Sylvia, her partner Tex,
Nick Gilchrist, he's watching
Pat,
right now.
Yeah, my brother Nick, who married Adam's sister, it's a long story. They live on the same property. It's like
not
this
weird.
Community of...
Shut up. It's not weird at all. But Nick's a great uncle.
Yeah, and just so many people that support our family to be able to do this, and the people that work with Adam, and my sisters and brothers, Adam's sisters and brothers, uncles, aunts. Like, we can't do that without having that support from community. And even places like the McTavish Academy of Arts, like, they have been such a great host to...
Shout out to Lucas Copplestone and Sean McNeil.
Yeah, and everybody just seems to yearn for community and want this to go well, regardless of the party Adam works for. It's just that he's meant to be bringing people together, and that makes family life and it being sometimes tricky to navigate worth every minute.
It helps that we live here.
The more he does dishes, the better. No, I'm kidding.
Fold laundry?
He folds laundry on Sundays.
I even wash it. I even put it through.
Sometimes I get tired of cooking. But when we got married, this lovely woman, Jan Carroll...
Sonia Firstenow's mom, actually.
Yeah, that's true. She said in our wedding vow thingy, one cooks, the other does the dishes. And that's sort of been where we operated from. We support each other. And
doing the dishes now is a much more broad definition of doing the dishes. It includes a bunch of other things. That it's beneficial. One final point. It's beneficial that we live here in the city. I look at, and to my friend and colleague, Dan Davies, who was injured. We've talked about this. He lives in Fort St. John. He was injured in an accident. I haven't had an update, but our thoughts and prayers are with you, Dan, and with your family. We talked about having a family that lives far away from the legislature. Certainly being a 30-minute commute into the legislature has made this possible, because frankly, it wouldn't be possible for us if we didn't live in the city. And it's constantly a juggle. We're constantly working through the challenges of scheduling and of events, but I believe that we need people with voices, families, people with families and young children in the legislature. I think it's incredibly important that we're represented, that the education system is represented. So Steve Postings is watching. Hi, Steve Postings. There's a blast from the past. Yeah, my kids are going to Brentwood Elementary now, Steve, back from the days that we know. So It is now time to shut this week's episode down. What, in your opinion, is the biggest story in Saanich North and the Islands or BC politics? You can share your game-changing ideas, or you can let us know about a topic that you would like us to talk about in future episodes. Leave those in the comments below. If you enjoyed this episode, please again show Emily some love for the courage that she had to come and talk about some of these difficult things she talked about today. Hit like. As well, you can share this with tag a friend in the comment section below. Ask us a question. I'd like to circle back around and answer as many of them as I possibly can. Thank you very much for watching this episode. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel. The link is in the description below. What do we've got here? You can, yeah, that's right. You can. Here's how you can find us on social media. And here's how you can email us, adam.olsen.mla@ledge.bc.ca. I post all of the video work from the legislature online on my blog. I also blog on a fairly regular basis about issues that I find interesting and important, and that's adamolsen.ca is where you can find my blog. You can also give us a call. Our constituency office is in the Landmark building at the foot of Beacon Avenue. And it is open Monday to Friday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. You can call us at 250-655-5600. Anything else that I missed, Emily?
Happy Easter or time with your family, whatever this weekend involves for you. Hold each other close. Be kind.
Hold each other closer. Have a great week. I hope you'll check us out again next week. In the 8th episode, it is going to be the 8th episode next week, 4:30 on Facebook. This happens every Friday at 4:30. So until then, Haekwa. Now I got to get up and turn it off.
You got to go do the awkward thing where you go and turn it off. Thank you.